Hey guys, welcome to Body by Design. My name is Sheridan, and joining us for our practice today we have Miss Ellie. We'll be moving through a gentle flow. We'll work on a lot of restorative postures. So some props that you might need are blocks, pillows. You might want a blanket just to cuddle up with. We'll be spending the majority of our practice on the floor. So grab your props, grab your mat, and let's get started. All right, so we will go ahead and begin today. We'll begin reclined. So you can come onto your backside, and if you are using props, which I definitely encourage, take your props near you so that you don't have to sit up and reach for them. But I'm going to start off with a prop. I'm going to use my pillow and place it underneath my bottom. So prop up on my pillow and then recline all the way down. There we go. So that way my hips are slightly lifted, and as I come into this reclined position, I'm keeping my knees bent. I'm allowing my arms to just rest by my sides. So all we're looking for here is a position where you feel comfortable. The majority of this practice will be on the floor. However, this is not our time for final relaxation yet. So pick a pose that you can get comfortable in, but not necessarily fall asleep in. So sometimes it does help to keep your knees bent or bring the bottoms of your feet together and allow your knees to open. And then once you've found your comfortable reclined position, shut down your eyes if you haven't already. And begin to focus in on your breath. Notice how when you breathe in through your nose, you feel your belly, your chest rise. Imagine that air moving into your lungs, filling your lungs. And then as you exhale, belly sinks back down. Air being released through your nose, or if it's more comfortable, through your mouth. Allow that breath to become slow and controlled. And while you're resting here, send a scan throughout your body, starting with your feet. You can even give your toes a little wiggle. Just wake up those toes, wake up those feet. Notice how they're feeling. Maybe spend a moment rolling your ankles around a few times. You can add a gentle sway with your knees side to side. Notice how your low back and your hips are feeling. Let that scan move then through your torso, your abdomen, your mid and upper back, through your shoulders. Do you have any areas where you're holding on to some tension, maybe some areas that are tight and need some extra attention and love today? You can wiggle your fingers a little bit, maybe even stretch out your arms. How are your arms feeling? And then as you let that scan move up through your head, begin practicing here, relaxing your jaw. You'll almost feel gravity pulling your cheeks towards the floor. Allow for some space in between your eyebrows as you release tension in your forehead. Feel your shoulders kind of letting go, sinking into the ground. then continue to be mindful throughout the rest of our practice, aware of your body, aware of what your body needs today, and taking this practice as slowly and as gently as you need to. As you find your next breath, you can, if your knees are not already bent, go ahead and bend your knees, walking your feet close up towards your bottom. Find an inhale to slowly lift your hips up. So if you have a pillow underneath your hips, you can remove the pillow and then release your hips down. And slowly draw your knees into your chest, one knee at a time, grabbing just beneath your kneecaps, and gently rock side to side. Feel a gentle massage throughout your backside as you roll from right to left. And then as you roll back through center, start to extend your legs straight up to the sky. They don't have to be completely straight, but just reaching those legs up, feeling a pull throughout the backs of your legs. Maybe even give your legs a tiny tug. Find a moment to flex your feet and then point your feet. Flex your feet, point your toes. And then with those legs extended straight up to the sky, find one more deep breath in. Exhale, keep your feet flexed, and then draw your knees back into your chest and allow for your knees to fall to the outsides of your rib cage. Reach for the inner or outer arches of your feet. Find your happy baby stretch. So in happy baby, this is a pretty deep hip opener, but you can make it as gentle as you would like. You can bring the bottoms of your feet in together to touch and allow for your knees to open out wide. It's a great way to open up through your hips. Or you can continue to let your thighs fall to the outsides of your rib cage. If your hamstrings are up for it, maybe even try extending one leg straight at a time. And then once you've moved through your happy baby, start to draw your knees gently back into your chest. Find a deep inhale in. And exhale, release your feet down to the floor. Let's take an inhale, start to press your low back into the ground. Exhale, now you don't actually have to come into a bridge pose, but just try tilting your hips, kind of lifting your hips off the floor, and then setting those hips slowly back down. Find an inhale, press your low back into the ground, tilt your hips, exhale, lift up just a tiny bit off the ground, and slowly release, kind of waking up those muscles on your backside, lower body. One more time, inhale, press your low back into the ground. Exhale, lift, and if you are up for it, start to lift your hips all the way up to the sky for a full bridge pose. Once again, placing a pillow underneath your hips if that works better for you, or this is a great time to use a block, to place a block underneath your hips. This would be a more restorative variation of bridge pose. And if you like bridge pose with no props, just remove the block, remove the pillow, and hold here. We're going to try to hold our bridge for about 3 to 5 more breaths. Finding one more breath. Exhale, slowly release your hips down to the floor. Allow your knees to fall to the side. It can be right or left side, whichever way helps you continue to face towards your camera. And then take a moment to just curl up on whatever side that you're on. Curl up next to your puppy if you have a puppy with you. We're about to make our way into a seated position, so just taking as much time as you need here. And whenever you start to feel ready, begin to press up, moving slowly, starting to find your way into an easy seat. Now, I do want to encourage you, if you are just not feeling it, if you're not feeling it moving up, you're welcome to stay reclined, because we are going to lay back down in a little bit. So we are going to move through a few seated stretches and then make our way down to the floor. So in your easy seat, allow your legs to rest comfortably. Hands can just rest on your thighs. Try to sit up tall through your spine and find one big shoulder roll, rolling your shoulders up towards your ears and then down along your spine. And then same thing, front, roll your shoulders up towards your ears to the front and then down. And then as you relax your shoulders down comfortably, lengthen your spine one more time. Start to drop your right ear to your right shoulder and feel a gentle stretch through the opposite side of your neck. Deep breaths in and out. One more deep breath in. And exhale, now drop your chin to your chest. Let your head just kind of hang. So you're still sitting up tall. You should feel a gentle pull on the back side of your neck. Deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in. And exhale, now drop your left ear to your left shoulder, opposite side. Feel a stretch through your neck. And with one more deep breath in. Beautiful. Exhale, draw your head to center, and if your eyes were shut down, you can just soften your gaze. Perfect. Now we are going to extend our legs straight. We're going to move into a seated forward fold stretch, which I hope that this is the most gentle seated forward fold stretch that you have ever done. So we've got a lot of options. Grab your pillow and place your pillow on your thighs. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see a little bit better. We've got two options for pillows. One, you can take the pillows, one pillow, place it underneath your knees, and then one pillow on top, or two, you can remove that pillow from underneath your knees. So we're going to find a deep inhale, start to lift up tall through your spine, reach those arms up to the sky, and then on your exhale, just gently melt forward. Now I want your focus here to not be how far can I reach my hands, how far can I stretch, but just feel a stretch. Just feel a gentle stretch, whether you're reaching to your pillow, your shins, or way past your toes. Just kind of ease into that stretch. If your pillow is high enough to where you can rest your cheek on your pillow, just gently rest your head onto your pillow. Find your breath. Let's take one last deep breath in. Exhale and slowly lift back up. Move those pillows to the side. And begin to swing your feet around to the side. We're going to come into a tabletop pose, hands and knees. Keep those pillows nearby because we will use our pillows. Finding your tabletop. Let's find an inhale, look up to the sky, stretch out your stomach. So you're dropping your belly button down to the floor, lifting your hips upward. Feel a stretch through your stomach. And then exhale, round out through your spine, look down to the floor. Inhale, look up and stretch out your stomach. Exhale, round. One or two more times, just like that. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, round. And last one. Inhale, stretch out your belly. Exhale, as you round, start to draw your back into a neutral alignment. Grab onto your pillows once again. We are using these. I've got two options once again this time. So what I'm going to do for my option is take the pillow just right underneath my chest. I'm going to widen my knees so that they're about mat width, sink my hips down, and then just rest into child's pose with my head resting on the pillow. Your second option is to take a pillow. This is great if you have any knee pain, even a little bit of hip pain. Take your pillow, place it underneath your bottom. You can even use a block to place under your bottom for more support. And then let your hips rest on the pillow, maybe even try 2 pillows, and that way the pillow is taking some of the weight from your knees. So start to sink down into your variation of child's pose, maybe even use a block for your head. Your arms can be extended long, they can be by your sides. What is comfortable for you? Continue to slow your breath. Now I want to offer in one option here. I want to encourage you to stay in child's pose if you're more comfortable with child's pose. But since this is a very gentle, restorative type of practice, this is just a complete option. But one option to move into your downward facing dog, maybe hang out for a moment in forward fold if you like that. Sometimes it's good to just get upside down in that way. So about 5 to 6 breaths moving through down dog or forward fold, whatever you might want. And if you are still in child's pose, continue to just sink into your child's pose. Really use this time to reconnect with your breath, maybe refocus on your body and how your body is feeling now that we've brought some movement in. And if you just need to sit up for a moment, you can also do that. So wherever you are, begin to find your last 3 breaths. We've got 3 more breaths, and then slowly make your way back into tabletop. Take your time. And once we're all back into tabletop, we're going to walk our hands forward to the very front of the mat and then shift your hips forward so you're in a kneeling plank, so you're keeping your core engaged. Now let your elbows graze the side of your body. You can even drop down to your forearms first, but start to slowly lower your body all the way to the floor. Lower your bellies all the way to the floor. Press your forearms to the ground. Draw your elbows into your sides. Relax your feet, and then slowly lift your chest off the ground. Find your Sphinx pose. And this is not our Sphinx pose, but Ellie's joining us with our stretches. In your Sphinx pose, you should feel a little bit more of your upper abdomen stretching out. Let's hold for another. 1 deep breath in. Beautiful. Now as you exhale, begin to release your right cheek down to the mat. Right cheek down to the mat. And then arms extend straight down by your sides. Let your feet relax comfortably. And with your head turned to the side, flat on the mat, you might feel a gentle stretch in your neck. If that's not comfortable, you can always place a pillow under your head. Next deep breath in. Exhale to draw your chin to the center of your mat. Begin to place your hands beneath your shoulders. So you can go back to that Sphinx pose if that's more comfortable for your back. Otherwise, we're going to press up into a gentle cobra stretch. Stop if that starts to hurt your stomach or if it starts to hurt your back. And if it's comfortable for you, find a full cobra stretch. Deep breaths in, stretching through your belly. Maybe even take a little bit of a twist to the right, a little bit of a twist to the left. And next deep breath in, exhale, slowly release all the way down. Now rest your opposite cheek, so that should be your left cheek now, to the mat. Let your arms extend by your sides. Continue to breathe right here. Next inhale, chin drawing back to the center of your mat. Now pressing up to your forearms again. We're going to take a bend with the right leg first. It doesn't matter which leg you bend first, but bend one leg. I'm just bending my right. Reach your right arm back to grab your right foot and then pull both knees in together to touch and try to pull your heel towards your bottom. So the goal here is to get a little bit of a quad stretch. You're probably opening a lot through your right shoulder, so you might be getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch too. And it does kind of help to face your chest to the front and let that shoulder open up. But if you're not getting any quad stretch at all, you can rotate over your right shoulder, roll over your right shoulder, and then pull that knee a little bit further back. So whatever works for you. Gentle quad stretch. We're warming up for a bow, which will be completely optional, bow pose. So about 1 or 2 more deep breaths in on this right side. With that last breath, slowly release that right leg down. Relax your right forearm to the floor. Now bend your left knee. Reach that left hand to grab your left foot or left ankle. Pull your left heel towards your bottom. You can even lift that knee off the ground a bit. And then roll to your side if you want a deeper stretch. Inhale in and out. A few more breaths. Last deep breath in. Beautiful. Exhale, release down to your belly. So I'll demonstrate this next pose, but once again, this is an optional pose. This will be more of a challenge pose for our practice today. Might not be as gentle for you, so listen to your body here. But our floor bow is where we bend both knees, reach hands around to grab the outsides of the ankles. Now you can stay right here with the majority of your belly on the ground, or you can start to lift your chest off the floor, lift your thighs off the floor. This is what I'm kind of looking for though, for a gentle floor bow. Your second option is to roll onto your backside and press up into bridge. And your third option is to extend those arms down by your sides and rest back onto your belly, not worrying about that bow. So if you're in floor bow, I want to encourage you to hold for about 3 to 5 breaths. Find your focus, find your balance. Maybe even close your eyes as you hold. If you're in bridge pose, same thing. Try to find about 3 to 5 breaths. If you're laying on your belly, continue to relax on your belly. And then everybody meeting back on our bellies once you've done your bow or your bridge. Coming onto your belly, grab onto your pillow again. Now take your pillow to the right side of your mat and have it about shoulder or rib cage height. You're probably gonna move it a little bit. Now you're gonna I'm just taking my left arm in front comfortably above my head. Now my right knee is gonna come up to this pillow. So I'm propping my knee up to the pillow. I actually moved my pillow down closer to belly button height. And then I'm trying to face my hips down to the floor so that both hip bones are pressing towards the ground, not necessarily touching the ground, but towards the ground, and that right hip is lifted. And then I just rest down, relax on my forearm, shut down my eyes, feel a little bit of a stretch through that right hip. If you don't feel any stretch at all, take a block or take 2 pillows and try to lift that knee up higher. And then the key will be to continue pressing your hip bone to the floor. A few other options to make this a deeper stretch is to take that right knee out and then up. So lifting it up as high as you can, but keeping it pressed out as far to the right as possible. Take a moment to breathe, rest here. Now you can continue to rest right there. If you love that pose, just stay right where you are. We're gonna roll over our right shoulder, keeping that right knee crossed over and just opening up so that you move into a spinal twist on the right. So I'm just rotating open. Right arm is now reaching out to the right side, moving into a gentle spinal twist. Find about 3 breaths twisting. One more deep breath here. Beautiful. Now on your exhale, slowly rotate back over to your belly. Take your time to release your right knee down to the floor and then draw your hips back through center. And in between right and left, take your pillow, bring it over to the left side. And once you're ready, prop your left knee up. So we'll do the same stretch on the left side. If you need a break in between or to press back into child's pose, know that that's an option as well. But once you're ready, take that left knee, prop it up, and let yourself get comfortable with your hip opening stretch on the left. going to roll this time over the left shoulder, keeping your left knee propped up on your pillow. Start to open up through that left shoulder. You can extend your left arm out to the left side. Find a few deep breaths in your spinal twist. Let's take one more deep breath in our twist. Now this time as you exhale, we're kind of already on our backs. You're just going to roll flat onto your back. You can move that pillow just right by your side. Let your legs fall apart. Let your arms rest by your sides. Spend a moment moving through any additional stretches you want to add in. And then once you are ready to start making your way into final relaxation, allow yourself to get comfortable in your resting position. Spend a moment maybe just reflecting on our practice, reflecting on how you're feeling now, rested, peaceful, relaxed. And then think back to the beginning of our practice. We were connecting with our breath. Releasing tension from the forehead, relaxing the cheeks, allowing those shoulders to melt into the floor. Begin to imagine that gravity is just taking over. Your body is becoming weightless, melting into the ground. Allowing each breath to move you into a more relaxed state. So I invite you to remain here for as long as you'd like. But that is all that I have for you today. Thank you for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed. Namaste.